highly scalable. So, and we go to npm module. So npm module is the best powerful tool. It's handle the more modules to easiest to handle the our applications and to reuse the codes. So Node package manager is simply used to installation of the our third-party libraries and modules, such as npm.org is the website for repository, library repository, so that we use npm module to gather the all of modules. So and uh, fifth feature is an V8 JavaScript engine. So is a conversion of to machine code and to interrupt the Java code. Okay. So next, event-driven architecture. So sixth feature is event-driven architecture. Event-driven architecture means you can see the you can feel that once upon take a one request of web server to handle the submit button or searching the any of the queries, search engines like search tool in our web page, search content on the web page or any form request. Everyone is an activated by event-driven architecture. Okay, event-driven almost all events based, all actions based on events. So and seventh key features is on cross-platform compatibility. Okay, Node.js is can do run Windows or Linux or Mac, all variety of OS to perform a build. Okay. So next, eighth feature is an server-side rendering and API development. So we can see server-side is a common features of the Node.js feature, and API development is an most powerful feature. This can you can see we can see use other languages such as Python or PHP or ASB encoding in for the backend development. You can use React, Angular like that. This framework can consider as a API reference of the Node.js performance. So this is the mostly feature for API development. So and how PHP and ASP handles a file request. So first point, send the task to the computer file system is the first step, and wait the file while the file systems opens or read the file. So yeah, file systems can do the waiting purpose to generate the proper response from the still minute. Yes. Third point, returns the content to the client. Yes. Okay. And read to handle the next request. This is the process. This is the cycling process. First is an take a request and get the opens and read operation, any kind of database query operations. So any whatever it is. So and returns to the client. This is the basic cycle of the PHP and ASP handle the file request. But the node is an simultaneous process to handle that one. First step, computer previous on the step, send the task to the computer file system, and second step, handle to the next request. And this point is the important. Node.js can not waiting for the proper response to the time. It handle on next request. So when user handle the next request, Node.js can send off the request to the backend server. Okay. So the third point is on the file system has open or read the file, server returns the client to the content. So when the file is ready to the node can transmit the request to the client. So this is the important point. So difference between PHP or ASP and handle the file request, as well as Node.js handle the file request. So next, we can see how we can learn how what is the concept to needed to learn the Node.js. Any more ideas? These concepts are all are must know. This is the basic JavaScript techniques. First is an lexical structure and the expression statements with an evaluate our calculations or events. Okay. So next, third type, third point is must we know JavaScript data types? What are the data types it handle on JavaScript primitive or non-primitive and the types? So and uh, creating a classes and constructors. It is the class methods building features. So next, how to access a variable or create a variable with the JavaScript. The same point we use the Node.js. So and make an functions concepts like a normal named functions or anonymous function to the arrow function. So this is the important concepts recommended to learn the Node.js. So and this operator. Um, who one from Python background or Java background or C++ background? So we see this operator is important to reference the self object of the content, or we can run the data as a browser, right? So browser can take a reference as a document or a window. That's the one of the object. So this operator is can taken that functions or classes or parent window or child window. So everything, whatever we handle the most important thing is an this operator. Okay. So next arrow functions is an simple function that can properties as an return to callback functions. We use it on callback functions after the Node.js. So arrow functions are the basic syntax of the JavaScript. So Node.js can take the most of the syntax maybe used at arrow functions. So and the looping statements and the scopes, whatever it is, we can create class or functions or looping statements that such as a blocking are defined as a very important thing that we have scope area as a important and arrays. So arrays is a basic thing to store a multiple data to access the particular components every mode. So array is a collections. So this is an important thing. And template literals. Okay. So template literals means we can print the string or access the string as an literal value, or we can add a variables values to use template literals, such as like a dollar symbol with the curly braces that we can using. So next is an more important feature of a Node.js mustly followed for strict mode of a JavaScript. Okay, so we use JavaScript strict mode. Can you use strict mode beforely? So okay. Strict mode is a simple thing. We create a variable that are scoping to lifetime. That variable like where, let, const. It means is a strict mode of variable to access the or store the values in a Node.js. So Node.js without carrying the strict mode, we faced on the basics errors in our terminal window. Okay. And most important thing is a ECMA 6 is the 2015 after the JavaScript release and beyond. So, okay.
Where are the boys? I'm sleeping.
Yes, ma'am. So, any doubts, any questions have you? They understand? Yes, sir.
Hold on.
Thanks. Node.js header footer link sometimes. Okay. Yeah, super. Stick operators like a triple quotes check the data type. Yeah, correct. Super, sir. So, one more, we have create modules. So, all our idea of modules. What is modules in JavaScript? Tell me any short answer. What is the module in JavaScript?
இதெல்லாம் நான் சொல்லக்கூடாது, நீங்களா பண்ணணும். நான் அப்போ பிரின்சிபல் வந்தாருன்னா எவ்ரிடே ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ் ஆர் டூயிங் லைக் திஸ்.
So module is an important thing for our Node.js concept. Please just tell me short answer. What is module?
It is similar to package.
Yeah. Is a program collection of functions. Super. Collection of functions and classes. Super. So that's correct.
It's a simple piece of code.
Yes. Super. Okay. To create a module, you need to define the variables, functions, or objects that you want to export. Yes. So modules can reuse the properties and functions or class more than to another JavaScript code. Okay. So using that module to use another file, you can use required function provided by Node.js. The required function allows load the exported function another module from another module. Okay. So first I can start up with a project, Node.js project, as I select my desktop directory. Who one is using laptop now? எல்லாம் ரெடியா இப்ப லேப்டாப்ஸ் கையில வச்சிருக்கீங்க, இப்ப என் கூட சேர்ந்து ஒர்க் பண்றதுக்கு? If you have laptop, try to simultaneously to code to us to get every error you can face. Just clear me. So okay, first we got develop the environment for Node.js. First step is on you can now installed your Node.js. Go to nodejs.org website. The official website of Node.js is nodejs.org. You can see in the home page for download options, two more options here. 18.6.16.1 is an LTS version for long-term support for all Node.js or Node developers, and is the latest features, and like a beta version. The version is on 20.4.0 is the current latest version. So most recommended for users 18.16.1. This is the long time support version. You can use this recommended version to download this from this website. So, and then first setup is an install to get a
Balaji sir,
sir.
kindly speak in both English as well as Tamil sir for better understanding.
Oh, okay, sir. Okay, thank you. Okay. Okay. So first thing, we check the Node.js are successfully installed in our device. To check Node.js application or CMD window. First thing, we check the command.js window to open are successfully installed in our device. To check and type Node.js Node application hyphen v CMD window. First thing, to check the version command.js window of the Node are successfully installed in our device. To check and type Node.js Node application hyphen v CMD window. First thing, to check the version command.js window of the Node are successfully installed in our device. To check, and we can and type installations Node application hyphen v CMD window. First thing, to check the version command.js window of the Node are successfully installed in our device. Third-party libraries or modules and type installations Node application hyphen v CMD window. To check the version command.js window of the Node are successfully installed in our device. To get third-party libraries or modules and type installations Node application hyphen v CMD window. To check the version command.js window of the Node are successfully installed in our device. To get third-party libraries or modules and type installations. So I choose a directory of desktop directory to open a new folder. This is our first project of Node.js. So I start that folder. Okay. So we can see run our environment. I use the best editor for, I suggest the editor for Visual Studio Code IDE. We can see the best menu was new terminal to make our command line arguments to handle this line, this area. Okay. So first, initially, I init the Node.js project using npm tool. Okay. So first command is on npm space init init. So this time we get a package name for the this project. So I had a first project or first Node.js project. First Node.js. Okay, new folder name. So names should be in capital letters. starts with capital letters. Fully capital. Okay. So I continued the new folder as the same name of the folder name. You can firstly prefer to plan the project name to create a folder set of folder name. Okay. So on version is an 1.0.0. I had to continue. So you can set the description of your project. I set first Node.js project. And we can see entry point of the first file is called index.js. Okay. npm node as well as run by JavaScript file. So the first file is the main file of our directory or our project is an index.js. I said that just to continue this option to enter. So and testing commands to activate this after developing your project, you can add through this area. You can git repository to add that link. npm can take automatically add your repository links at the server. This option must you can put on your network safely and get keywords. Put on your keywords. There's a project like what of your project keywords to add this area. I add first sample project. And get your name as an author who want build this project for us to get put this name, author name, and license. All of it is okay. To put Y is a character to accept all of the package settings to okay. Yes. So we can see your folder that generate a new file that called package.json. So this is one of JSON file to contain all of your projects descriptions and project name, version. So இப்போ நம்ம கொடுத்தது எல்லாமே இதுல இருக்கும். So all of your settings.
Why we are to place these comments there? npm init. Okay, what is the purpose in it?
Init
We can
means
directly also run. Then why we are going for this type of package or JSON?
yes, sir. I will explain. So package is means that contain your project informations that taken another developer to execute and like understand the projects what of the packages are installed. So what author has created this program and what is the main file to can achieve, and npm also runs using this file. Okay, we work with the project is not a single file. We such as in future we can add more than JavaScript files as a one single folder, and we use templates as an HTML files, and we can use backends as well as all folders like separate modules. Correct?
Thank you, sir.
Now
I got it, sir.
Okay. So first, we create a user-defined module in this folder. So go to folder options of the second option. We can create new folder that the name as a src. Src means source. So what are the your main JavaScript files or HTML files? All of that contain src folder, that node environment that can understand the JavaScript files as well as this folder. Okay. So inside of this folder, we can create all of the main JavaScript at our runtime environment to create this one. So we see package.json of the main file we named at index.js. Okay. So first file is called as a index.js. So I put a name new file for index.js. So okay, this is the main file to execute our local after creating a server. We put the main domain of our website. It's clear. Example for Node.js.org is a home page. This is the index page of this website. As well as our project can one of the home page that contain the JavaScript accessing for index.js for the backend process. Clear? We can start up with a server. We can initialize the server. We can run the server of this single file. This is the main file of the first work. Also, we can create a modules. Just a minute. We can we can discuss about a modules. So I create here one of the new module like a two functions that can add and subtract is the basic mathematic operations I need. That the name add and subtract is the function names I can add. Okay, I'm using arrow functions to use the basic syntax. Let's create a function variable called add. Add equal to we put the parameter as a surrounded by parentheses. I have a two parameters called A and B. To make an operation and return a value of sum of A plus B, A plus B, A and B. It's a simple function to take two arguments and return the two value summarization to return the value to the when we call add function to send it. And I create another function const subtract. Subtract equal to save two parameters as A and B. To following the step, return A minus B. It's a concept. Okay. So we create module wherever it is where we can use to export that file from this file. Only you can export and you use the module in the another file. So I had a syntax for module dot export. So why this line? To export the function properties to use another JavaScript file like a index.js or moreover. Okay. So I cut this program to create a new file. New file name is math.js. Math.js is a module file. I can reuse the code for any other JavaScript files. So modules.exports, what are the your function names can contain? Put, add, and subtract. These two functions are I am created with arrow functions to create to use another JavaScript file. Correct? Okay. Next step is we are import that module using require function. Node.js has one of the global function that called require. It means you can import modules or node package libraries. Okay. So require function that enables require the syntax or named properties of our other modules. Module name is math.js is the same folder, src folder that contains index.js. At the same folder, we can use math.js. So same folder reference for using dot operator, dot reference at our string literal. Inside of string literal, we can use dot for get a same directory reference. So and put a slash, we can auto suggestions for math அப்படிங்கிற ஒரு name. So for what math.js file to can insert. We don't need extension for the JavaScript file. Node package will be automatically understand with the math name to access a math.js file. So this is the syntax that we can use the math operations contain one of the variable to assign named at the variable called math. So I create a constant variable that contain all of the math library modules. You understand this line? So next we can run console.log to log our output of the functions. So I named that require library as a math name. I use math dot. We have auto suggestions of the method. We create a method add and subtract to use it. So add is an arrow function that I pass the parameters as an arguments to that function. So we can see A any, B any. Is an we use non-strict variable like A B, so that we have any reference. So in case I pass a string example for node comma js is a second argument. We understand about basic expressions about JavaScript. Contain two strings, JavaScript can add the concatenation of the entire string. We can use numbers. We put the pass the number, can summarize the values and given. Okay. So this method we are importing math module using require math library, math external module. So, okay. And run this file to using node command. We also run the Python file as a command line interface to use Python keyword or Py keyword. That like we run the node file to use the command line interface, we get node command. Node is an opening our node application to run our JS file, JavaScript file. JavaScript file name is an index.js So we see the open our directory path as a desktop and a new folder, not a SRC folder. Okay. So this time, this line we change the directory using cd command cd src. So index.js contain inside of src folder. So I change the directory to src, and we can run file. So let's check whether all files are saved or not saved. Put on one of the options, save all, control plus ks with the shortcut. All of the files are one singly saved. Okay. So next we run our index.js file, node space index.js. It's a simple command to execute our node file. I got the console log statement as a 141 is the resultant output. Okay. We can create another module called as a greet.js. This module take a function to get a name and greeting by the user or I given name. Okay. I created same as well as same function called const. The name greetings. I have an argument name for name or username. Console.log statement. Previously, I discussed the concept of before recommendations of Node.js. We see string literal. Okay, I used that time. String literal, we can use symbol. It's a template string operator. Okay, not a single quotes. It's a template string operator that contains string to literal. Allow. I have a variable that syntaxed by dollar with curly braces. I put a variable as username. The greeting function can take a username argument to print hello username. It's a simple function. I set on a greet.js file. And we can import single name import lines. Math.js, we export the function to the syntax. We can use this time single function to create to manipulate a export line to make non-anonymous function module dot exports equal to. So another simple syntax, the anonymous function to create a username. So how can we use this function in our index.js? Already we export the function and we use this function. And the second thing is import this module name as a greet. Dot greet module. Any idea how to run? How to I given a username to print this one, this line? What is a statement? I can do this area. Please tell me. function calling statement for given username to print a hello username. Anyone answer this one? What is the statement to I can write to get user to put username to get a hello username? Console.log greet.username. Greet dot isn't not a correct syntax.
Greet dot greetings of some name.
No. Already we have greet the module name as greet. So we can export the only one function, correct? Module contain only one function. That the name we can import. We were import greet. So what are the statement? Directly we can use greet method. We can suggestion username, correct? All of understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let I run this code. Node space index.js. Yes. We have output as hello LTS. Correct. What is the meaning? Third line of output as an undefined. What is the meaning of this output? Undefined. Here it is greet function, greet module. Any idea why we can face undefined output in this area? No idea? So also we use only two console statements. One is addition of math module, one is greet function. And another one is console.log, okay, of inside of function hello username that automatically created. We can use non-returned data type of a function with this area console statement. Console log that print no returned data type from greet function. Clear? So we got an undefined reference from this function. I run repeat. It's an correct syntax. We can get a good output. Clear? Okay. And the next problem is on installation. Or we can run every time of the file to create a Node.js file. In case I change the file and rerun the code, again I change the file, again I rerun the code, is one of the most developer problem to face it. So when I save the files, it's automatically to save and run of the code. Isn't possible? Yes, it is possible by using Node.man package. Node.man package, are you now? Okay. So I learn about how to install our third-party modules in online. Could check your internet design connectivity and use the command npm. First command is we create a project that an npm init command, and another command is an npm installation command for npm space install, and put a package name, whatever you module can you need installation to put that name, package name. Okay, so my name is an Node.man is the package name that install in our directory. Okay, so we can source directory is the only of the child directory. When I install the third party libraries or third party modules in from website, we can see the node modules folders are generated. Clear? Node modules is a library. So to create a additional JavaScript functionalities to access your built-in modules to create these folders. So we can see Node.man directory inside of the node modules directory. Yes, this is the source files of this library, package.json and lib files, index.js, conversion.js, and see, and document properties. What are the help text அப்படிங்கிற நம்ம கொடுக்கும்போது அதுக்கேற்ற மாதிரியான ஸோ கமெண்ட்ஸ் எல்லாமே நமக்கு காட்டும். இது ஒன் ஆஃப் த டைரக்டரி அண்ட் பின் டைரக்டரி. So all of the projects must have package.json, index.js is a source file of runnable code. So we can put that same files, index.js file and package.json file. Okay.
Sir, can you explain how that undefined went away? Because I didn't get you. I lost you at that point. Sorry.
Okay, ma'am. We have greet function is a non-return typed function. Yes, can understand? This is only can print statement of the function, and I get a print statement of a function to get a function reference. Clear? Function could not return any value. No value is printed by console.log. We can face undefined data. Clear, ma'am?
Yeah.
Okay.
So to avoid that, we are not giving it in the console log.
Yes, we cancel the console log statement.
Okay.
Okay, or any returnable function, any returnable data to access, store, or print that we can. Okay.
Okay.
But this time we cannot print the data. We don't return the data.
Okay.
And we face undefined output. So, and this is the important thing. 16th line we note dependencies. This is our installation details are here. So with the installation package name and the version. What version? 3.0.1 I have installed today this time. Latest version is a 3.0.1. Okay. Clear? Because last time, last property is a license, and we use installation property to get the dependencies property from this package.json file. We have package name using Node.man, that the version is 3.0.1. So and more in another class, day after that class, we use more modules like React.js and Express.js, MongoDB is for your database connections, as well as all of the libraries are installed by this command npm space install space package name. Okay. So and
Yes.
the first
அதெல்லாம்
point
வந்து
is
Node.js வச்சு run பண்ணல. நம்ம இன்ஸ்டால்ல run பண்ணோம். அதே மாதிரி தான் run பண்றாங்க. இப்போ போன தடவை அப்படிதான் பண்ணாங்க.
okay. So what is the future of Node.js? Previously we said JavaScript, Node.js, JavaScript were used for run JavaScript outside of a web browser, correct? Outside of a web browser, we can create a server of the web page to create of one. Any of the file. I use index.js file is the main file to create a JavaScript library. So and we use Node.man library for when I save the file to automatically rerun the program in the terminal window. Okay. So first of all, I create a web server at the syntax followed by, I put the command these lines, make a commands and create a new functionalities to create a server. Okay. We can see user defined modules this time, math, greet of our requirements. This time we requirement of HTTP protocol to create a web server, correct? So every client server architecture is handled by HTTP protocol, so that we have the more of libraries to use JavaScript file. It's a built-in Node.js module for HTTP module. I create a name, module name, reference this file HTTP equal to same before syntax of this line, require module name is an HTTP. Is a built-in module to use to create a server and manipulate a setting a port, which port we can run the local host or main host, as well as C. So all of the definitions will be defined as a module called HTTP. Okay. So I get a syntax to create a server. I copy that from our document. I send you documents, all of your mail. Our coordinates sent to your mails. Please check it after the class or this time. I create a server variable to create a server object. Why server object? We can run the initialize the server to using this module, HTTP module, that contain a special class that creates server. It contain a one callback function that called void that function to use request and response of the client. So our system is on server to get a request from client and put a response to the client. Okay. This is a simple architecture for every website. Client raise a request and gather the response of the client to resend the response that client. So we see more than status codes, we faced the server problem or network problem or client problem as well. See the status code up to 100 to 500, I think. Are you see any status code for page not found அப்படிங்கிறதுக்கு என்ன ஸ்டேட்டஸ் கோட் வரும்? நமக்கு தேவையான ஃபைல் இப்ப ஆக்சஸ் ஆகல அப்படின்னா என்ன ஸ்டேட்டஸ் கோட் வந்து சென்ட் ஆகும்? வாட் ஸ்டேட்டஸ் கோட் கேன் ஃபேஸ் பேஜ் நாட் ஃபவுண்ட்? Yes, correct. 404 is an page not found error. System and server has a more codes that can success code. It means 200. When server send the response to the success, your request has been successed. To determine a code 200. So I feel the browsers are basically run upon document object or window object to get all of HTML and CSS JavaScript code to access it, manipulate it. And the system has sent two different kind of object, that is request, another one is response. Response is then sent to by server. So server can set the status code as a 200. It means your request has put a response as a successful. Okay. So where can I to see this status code of any website, any request? If I see Node.js.org, this web page, as open our inspect mode and go to network mode, network property. Once I see the loaded files as a responses file, responded file, we can see en.json, en.json, en.json is an status. We can see the 200. Is the Node.js backend server can set the successful files to set a 200 status code, and the type is an fetch and much more. Is an time. We see the how will time we can get the file to render this web page. We can see that. So this is the point. So in case I set the anonymous URL to the website, example en/lts, and I get the 404 not found error. You see the status code, LTS request can take a 404 status. So when you set the successful code to set a 200 in your res object. Okay, res means response object, to set a status code as a 200. This is a successful status. And we see set header. Header means it's a header area. I have a successful web page. Any of the link to get a status header. Any HTML files, JavaScript filing. Headers, header area to get the general properties of client side. Status code 200, and the request method is a get method. Remote address is an this IP address or this remote address, and our URL we can see. So and cookie properties, response properties are this time. request properties are this area. Then which client which using which browser, what are the platform, Windows platform. I using Windows platform to get this page, using this page. So whatever it is. So all of the details are setting by set header function to use parameters as a content type text plain. Okay. So what text plain? What is text plain meaning? Content type meaning. What is the meaning about content type? We see the response as an what with file we have get it, and the file property is explained by this area. Content type as an plain content. I use the plain text this area res.end function. Why res.end function? End function that close the response for the client. So in case I did not, okay, I explain another time and more time. Okay, first we can see this file, run our folder. I run this file, npm node space index.js. So file has run successful, and only we can create a server and don't run the server of this time. Start the server by calling its listen method and provide port number. So the ரெண்டு விஷயம் நம்ம கொடுக்கும்போது தான் சர்வர் வந்து ஆக்ட் ஆகும். So I paste that code, server dot listen function. Why listen function? To activate the properties files as our server techniques. So and I given port number, port variable. I don't create that this one. I create const port is equal to. So basically Node.js can run 3000 is the basic port number, default port number you can use, and more than you available to use more than port numbers to access 8080 or 8000 is an 800 is an Django port number, as well as all libraries can unique port number to get a file response. So I can use 3000 port number to use the port to create a server, and we see anonymous function, arrow function. This area is a callback function. When the server is successfully created, this function to the callback after the server is running. Okay, we use almost, we can see the PHP ல நம்ம வந்து exam software வந்து யூஸ் பண்ணிருப்போம். Yes, exam software, once I start the server of the Apache or MySQL, in case whatever I services start, I get a command lines, commands, arguments or status followed by that window. Server is running on the port, server is listening on the port, server is listening on the local host. That is the, we see the status. So that the main point, we create the one function to successfully run the server, and I print the status. Server is running on port number is an literal template literal using port number can print. So okay, I save the file and I run this file again. Yes, we have successfully create the start the server, and we get callback function to call the console log function, and we get the server is running on the port 3000. So, okay, what is 3000 is a host mean local host that can port number as in 3000 local area. So, and I run our browser to put the URL localhost 3000. Yes. We have one response, hello world. We get one response, hello world from backend server. Again, rerun the program. I have a local host header. Headers are 200 OK, and a remote address. Remote address is an local address, and I run a port number 3000. Okay. So this is the entire project and handle this property. If I change the status code to 404, what is 404? 40 is a not found status code, page not found status code. When I set the 404, the browser can understand no files are founded to the founded from the web server. And I am not saving, and break the file and rerun this code. I'm rerunning, get the 404 status code as a this area. Status as a 404 from localhost. Yes, we can see. So next we have handled URLs by specified URL to create a to manipulate a another files or another HTML as well as, and with the important modules as an file system module. Next we can see file system module. This is a math greet function. Yes, HTTP request, create a server, create பண்ணியாச்சு. Yes. Next, we put the HTML code on the server. We not only type a line by line this time. I write a response dot write in a string is called heading 1. We see heading 1 as the same plain text, and the hello world can same plain text. How do we can access the HTML element to this line to this response? Any idea? How we can
No, sir.
get a heading? Yes, ma'am.
No, sir. No idea.
Okay. 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 So I see the view source of this response can no HTML elements and no head tags, no content, which means we set the property as a text directly plain text. Okay, and I convert to the line HTML. It means server send a file as a HTML file response. Okay, I rerun the program. We see the another style. Can feel here and after of the HTML and the plain. And I check the source code, same plain text. So browser can understand that file is an HTML element that can predefine the user agent styles as fill the plain text. And I put a heading h1 tag in this string h1. See the difference? Or understand? And I reload the view source file. I get a HTML tag of this area. So this is a basic response of transmitting the HTML file as what of the client is requested by the URL. That URL server can take a HTML file response is an to the client. So next we see about URL manipulation. We can use URL module to manipulate the URLs and get the user data from the request. So and I get file system module. So file system module used to interacting with the file system, allowing you read from write files or create directories, all of our file performances. File related operations that can handled with FS module. File name module name must contain FS. We create a variable FS equal to require of FS deadline. I add the 7th line FS equal to const FS equal to require of FS module, and I use read file function or write file function, open file or append the file data, as well as whatever our file handling methods operations to use FS module. Okay. So it is a basic common file system operations as a read file, create file, update file, delete and rename the file names. So to create a read file method to use it to read files on our computer in the same line. We see the two parameters of this line. First parameter is an document name. Document name can we put the first parameter, and the second parameter as one of the callback functions. The callback function contains two parameters. One is error response that contained to this variable, and the another variable data is an data of the reading files, reading contents of the file to store this data variable in the callback function. So instead of callback function, we use set a HTML response as our data. Data means our file contain the HTML code. The file what HTML code contain that will store as a data variable, and we write the property as a data. Clear? The simple syntax. Already we have a write head property. We use new line as an file writing, file reading option to the HTML file, and we have the error. We face the error. The error property is stored by ERR variable. In case you handling the error, the time you face make the code for error handling to create try catch methods. So this time I use data and the data variable to write the response of the client request, and return the client request using rest.end function. Okay, and I listen the port 8080. I previously used the 3000, correct? So I just copy the line and paste it. Use another file to check this property. I have a read file.js or home.js, home.js. function. Paste that line. FS module to get the read file system and get property of demo file1.html. Our directory in time no has a demo file1.html. After we will create the HTML file. Of the property. Write data. We write the data variables to read from the HTML file and put the data. This is our response. Okay. So we listen the port 3000. I break the index.js file and run. First, I save this file home.js and I run the home.js file now. Is that error for HTTP module? Import HTTP require function from require. Okay, server is created successfully, and this area we have not a callback function to intimate the user server is started, not started. Okay, in case you need to create any of your wish named functions or arrow functions or callback to this area, I make a log statement for confirmation. Server is started. Server is started. Is that error? What is the error? Yes. Anyone understand this error? Why these errors are occurred? We will render in HTML. Yes. HTML file is not there. Correct. So read file functions and throw the error for file not found. Okay. So we set the file name home.js. Sorry, home.html. Home.html file. And I change the home.js function. Is the file name is demo file 1. Now currently I have home.html file. Okay. And I create a basic HTML code using skeleton. And I print here, make a h1 tag. This is a home page. This is a home page. This page contains only one heading and two file right of the data variable. These lines, all of the HTML code lines are contained by one of the variable data, and data rest or write option can create our website to render that lines. Clear? So, and I save and run the home.js file. Server is started, and I check the URL. Yes, we get the HTML file rendering using FS module and HTTP module. Clear? Here, any doubts to ask me? Any doubts? Please, low level. Yes, I noted. Thank you. Any more questions? All are clear?
Sir, how you have to access the query string?
Yes, sir. Next topic is we will see about query string.
Okay, sir.
No more doubts? Question was good. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Next, we see about fetching query details, fetching URL details about from the client, which URL can requested that the element to use a simple function that called a URL module. We use URL pass function to get all about the query details. You see this slide. So first HTTP module, and we see building URL module with the another module to manipulate our URL request, all of the details about the client request. So first create server function. Function has a request response parameters. Response take a head, write a head property as a HTML file, and see the next variable can queue. Q equal to URL dot pass. So we see the pass function used to retrieve the all about data as a string data or JSON data to retrieve the server, retrieve to the server side. And the query property means convert into a JavaScript object as a JSON file, I think. Okay. Query property is a contain all of the additional details. In case we see the year equal to 2017, we see the output of the area localhost 800 question mark, and see the year equal to 2017 and the month equal to July. This is the two data from passed from client side. So yes, so we have the property. Year property is an particular property, and the another property is an month data. All are stored by Q. All of the converted into a Q property, and we have txt variable to get the particular data 2017 and July. Is our exact data from the user. So use q.year function contain year value 2017, and the q.month property contains July value. Finally, we stop the response to end function and send the txt value to the end function. We can see the output 2017 and July value. Let's say run the program for your sample. So what file we record? Const URL library to manipulate a URLs from client side. URL dot we can use create function inside a callback function. Okay. First, where q is equal to let's say first this line where q is equal to query property, and we get a text from q property of the year value, and send the response to the client. Finally, we get a two variables outputs. Already we have a listen function to that. A new HTTP server. Server function நம்ம கொடுத்திருக்கோம். This module. So inside this file. We have another file. Okay. This is the parsing data. URL. You will see. I rerun the project. Server is under. Oh, sorry, 8080 port. Now I set on 8080 port. We see undefined variable, undefined data. Why? Why we face undefined variable value? We could not pass any value at the URL line, correct? We could not pass any one of the URL. So and I written the name was here. Here is equal to 2023 and is equal to July. I get a successful response. I put a request from URL to the server, and server can get the response. To understand the URL, it means day, year value and month value. The main of the line is request.url. It means where we can found the URL property is a request property. Okay, request object to get the URL details from the client side, and we get the same URL line. Okay, and we convert to the query property as a JSON file, and we get a year and a month value to the variables. It's clear? Any doubts about this program? Okay. So, and one of the most important thing is API manipulation. API manipulation is a best thing. We can use another backend as a like a Python, PHP, or ASB, whatever it is. We use the front-end module to use a Node.js to create a API reference to access the any queries put a post method or get method or a put method or a delete method. So what we can pass from the client to create a API reference. Okay. So I write the code port property and server properties of the get post request methods handling post and get. Okay. I code the lines. Have a new file. Handle methods .js. Is the one of the most important. We mostly used these lines. Yes, we have we from server development environment background. We see the most lines get method and post method. If the client is once request a get method to handle the request of one certain time or one certain data flow, if the client is sent as a post method to process another code handling if else block. Okay. So I split the method to if else block. So every web server can a default method as can get it. Get method is a default method to retrieve the file transformations. Okay. Paste, post, content. Okay. Create a server property. Listen. T0, T00. So once client send a get method to handle the get operations, I get a console statement. I put a console statement console.log. Get method is but I check that file. I run the file node space handle method.js. Okay. Server was run. Okay. I show that code 3000. Method not allowed. You can understand what is the problem that's still running. Our basic default method is goes as far get method. Clear? Localhost to check the method property. an empty. So it's defaultly sent by the get method. So get method of the block code has a no code to respond the server client. I put the statement res dot write res dot write for our data. Where to get data? Previously, we see the file handling fs module, correct? Const fs equal to require by fs. Using fs module, so console statement is printed by get method is acquired. Our statement is properly run. What we will understand this line? You will understand. The method get method is acquired by this time. So and I write the file to fs property handling with error, handling with errors. Okay. Successfully. And they write the data. So write read properties. Read file from home.txt. Sorry, home.html file. I not write the any of the content, okay, and I get the variable called the data. I run the data content and I get the variable process to end the data. Last occurrence s dot end. I run the data content and I get the variable process to end the data. Last occurrence of the code is missing. S dot end. I run the data and any codes are missing and I get the variable process to end the data. Last occurrence of the code is missing. S dot end. I run the data and any codes are missing and I get the variable process to end the data. Last occurrence of the code is missing. S dot end. I run the data and any codes are missing and I get the variable process to end the data. And while any of the code is missing, s dot end. I run the data and any codes are missing and I get the variable process to end the data. And okay, while any of the code is missing, current page is going on. I run the data and any codes are missing and I get the variable process to end the data. And okay, while any of the code is missing, current page is going on. I run the data and any codes are missing and I get the variable process to end the data. And okay, while any of the code is missing, current page is going on. I run the data and any codes are missing and I get the variable process to end the data. And okay, while any of the code is missing, current page is going on. We will see the data and code and I get the variable process to end the data. And run this while any of the code is missing, current page is going on. we will see the create a new home data, again a variable not already use the word and run this while we click on use binding to method current page is going about page. We will see the create a new home data, again a variable not already use the word and run this when I use we click on use binding to method current page is going about page. We will see the create a new home data, again a variable not already use the word and run this when I use we click on use binding to method current page is going about page. We will see the create a new home data, again a variable not already use the word and run this when I use we click on use binding to method current page is going about page. We will see the create a new home data, again a variable not already use the word and run this when I use we click on use binding to method current page is going about page. We will see the create a new home data, again a variable not already use the word and run this when I use we click on use binding to method current page is going about page. We will see the create a new home data, again a variable not already use the word and run this when I use we click on use binding to method current page is going about page. We will see the create a new home data, again a variable not already use the word and run this when I use we click on use binding to method current page is going about page. We will see the create a new home data, again a variable not already use the word and run this when I use we click on use binding to method current page is going about page. We will see the create a new home data, again a variable not already use the word and run this when I use we click on use binding to method current page is going about page. We will see the create a new home data, again a variable not already use the word and run this when I use we click on use binding to method current page is going about page. We will see the create a new home data, again a variable not already use the word and run this when I use we click on use binding to method current page is going about page. We will see the create a new home data, again a variable not already use the word and run this when I use we click on use binding to method current page is going about page. We will see the create a new home data, again a variable not already use the word and run this when I use we click on use binding to method current page is going about page.
Yes, sir. Where do I give it?
Again a
I have a phone.html
word and run this when I use we click on use binding to method current page is going about page.
Yes, sir. Where do I give it?
How to give it? Again a
I have a phone.html
word and run this when I use we click on use binding to method current page is going about page.
Yes, sir. Where do I give it?
How to give it? Again
I have a phone.html
word and run this when I use we click on use binding to method current page is going about page.
Yes, sir. Where do I give it?
How to give it? Again
I have a phone.html
word and run this when I use we click on use binding to method current page is going about page.
Yes, sir. Where do I give it?
How to give it? Again
I have a phone.html
word and run this when I use we click on use binding to method current page is going about page.
Yes, sir. Where do I give it?
How to give it? Again
I have a phone.html
word and run this when I use we click on use binding to method current page is going about page.
Yes, sir. Where do I give it?
How to give it? Again
I have a phone.html
word and run this when I use we click on use binding to method current page is going about page.
Yes, sir. Where do I give it?
How to give it? Again
I have a phone.html
word and run this when I use we click on use binding to method current page is going about page.
Yes, sir. Where do I give it?
How to give it? Again
I have a phone.html
word and run this when I use we click on use binding to method current page is going about page.
Yes, sir. Where do I give it?
How to give it? Again
I have a phone.html
word and run this when I use we click on use binding to method current page is going about page.
Yes, sir. Where do I give it?
How to give it?
I have a phone.html
word and run this when I use we click on use binding to method current page is going about page.
Yes, sir. Where do I give it?
How to give it?
I have a phone.html
word and run this when I use we click on use binding to method current page is going about page.
Yes, sir. Where do I give it?
How to give it?
I have a phone.html
word and run this when I use we click on use binding to method current page is going about page.
Yes, sir. Where do I give it?
How to give it?
I have a phone.html
word and run this when I use we click on use binding to method current page is going about page.
Yes, sir. Where do I give it?
How to give it?
I have Node.js yes, sir. Where do I give? I have 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 yes, sir. Where do I give? I have
Any doubt you can ask me.
yes, sir. Where do I give? I have
Sir, yes, can you explain how
yes,
that
sir. Where do I
the
give?
tilted symbol that you use, right? In the place like when and where that variables. So why can you explain how
Yes,
that
sir.
was
Where do I
the
give?
tilted symbol that you use, right? In the place like when and where that variables. So why can you explain, for example, how that
Where do I give?
was the tilted symbol that you use, right? In the place like when and where that variables. So why can you explain, for example, how that was the tilted symbol that you use, right? In the place like when and where that variables. So why can you explain, for example, how that was the tilted symbol that you use, right? In the place like when and where that variables. So why can you explain, for example, that, so why can you explain, for example, how that was the tilted symbol that you use, right? In the place like when and where that variables. So why can you explain, for example, how that was the tilted symbol that you use, right? In the place like when and where that variables. So why can you explain, for example, how that was the tilted symbol that you use, right? In the place like when and where that variables. So why can you explain, for example, how that was the tilted symbol that you use, right? In the place like when and where that variables. So why can you explain, for example, how that was the tilted symbol that you use, right? In the place like when and where that variables. So why can you explain, for example, how that was the tilted symbol that you use, right? In the place like when and where that variables. So why can you explain, for example, how that was the tilted symbol that you use, right? In the place like when and where that variables. So why can you explain, for example, how that was the tilted symbol that you use, right? In the place like when and where that variables. So why can you explain, for example, how that was the tilted symbol that you use, right? In the place like when and where and then with lines of that's wise. Can you explain, for example, that console